Are you jealous?
Oh shit, here we go again.
That's good.
You know what it is? Yeah, you know what it is. It's your man, I Make Mad Beats, live from outer space, an unapologetic studio. And we are live with another episode of Type Beat, where we talk about all things from beats, anything under the umbrella of being producer, engineers, and things we're interested in the music industry. With me today is my cat. We missing a few brodies, you know what I'm saying? That's because they out there doing the shows, you know what I'm saying? Spreading the rituals of unapologetic throughout the lands. But yeah, who my cast today, man?
Yeah, LJ1S. What up?
And unique, period.
Indeed. Yeah. Man, what are we talking about, man?
Man, so we got that's always a thing. But we got a few things going on. So we phrase these things in some interesting topics. So like talking about rollout strategy. I guess so tying that into what's happening now, and more so, is it still important? Is it relevant?
Bounce guy, what up?
What's good, family? Yeah, the importance of what was the other one we said? No, the importance of beef. Yeah, and not like actual beef eating niggas, but like
I mean, they really be eating niggas though. Like you know, I'm just saying. Big pause, but
beef and hip hop entertainment. But I guess more so we're speaking from a hip hop perspective, and you know AI is still a big thing in the world in life. So we're talking about AI ethics. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like, more so, man, first off, how y'all feeling?
So,
damn.
To get a comprehensive answer to this question, I must first lay down the ground rules and expectations.
For sure.
Right? This is Type Beat. We 1000% ask for engagement. We honor engagement. We prioritize engagement. What I mean by that is this. I want y'all to join into the conversation. And what y'all say will be prioritized over whatever we got to say. We will stop mid-sentence. I will cut these people off, right, to make sure that what you say gets heard and that you feel like you're a part of this conversation, because this is a conversation with y'all as much as it is with each other.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So how am I feeling? I'm cool, I had a pretty interesting week, you know what I mean? Several things that happened that went, in positive directions for me, you know what I mean?
Facts.
You feel me?
I feel you. Same here, man.
You know what I mean? So, it was cool, man. Big shout out to all my people at the Gloria Smith Foundation. Big shout out to my brothers and sisters at Coffee Black.
Yes.
Big shout out to Camille James at the Fraser Urban Community Garden.
Yes.
Big shout out to everybody trying, whether it's for profit or non-profit, that is organizing things for the sake of the community in a variety of ways.
Yeah.
We what was it? Yesterday. Yesterday we spent some of the team. We were downtown. Big shout out to all the team at the Hub. Big shout out to all my people at Dragonfly. We were down there, helping getting some meals out into the streets.
Thanks.
It was a great morning.
Nice.
Yeah, man, and then before that, a lot of cool things happened. So I'm in a good space right now.
Nice, man.
Man,
Love that.
I need some more rest.
I feel you on that. I think we all.
I need some more rest. You know what I'm saying? And this is probably the first time I'm ever saying this publicly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm pretty. I'm exhausted, but it's a good exhaustion,
Right.
man, from
Good problem to
from
have.
good opportunities.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's
Love
right.
that. Love that.
That's definitely how I'm feeling, man. It's been a productive month, up and down. You know what I'm saying? But this week was absolutely amazing. Just this whole weekend, just separating ourselves from this big hoopla of what America seems as a holiday. I just love the fact that I was able to, exclude my stomach and think about someone else's. You know what I'm saying? And especially seeing the children and stuff like that out there, because I'm a mom.
Yeah.
I just felt the need to, be a part of something that was bigger than me and something that my son would be proud to say, my mom, my mom is someone who gives back to other people and to children that are my age or whatnot. But yeah, shout out to everybody that came out. Shout out to the Glory Smith Foundation. I love what you guys do. 8 Ball, all of y'all, Coffee Black. Shout out to Mad and his family and everybody that came. Nikita. It was a good time. It really was. Shout out to the cookout we had yesterday. Niggas ate good. Mad was on the fucking grill killing that shit. Pops came through with some extra stuff. It was good. It was good. It was a blessed, family-oriented weekend. And it really was, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I agree. It's dope to just see the community building.
Yes.
And how it's building, the type of community that is being built. It's cool to see, and it's cool to be a part of. So, man, salute to the team, for real.
Yeah. Some things are happening organically.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll leave it at that. I'm gonna shout this out right quick. So big shout out my man Danian. He just chimed in.
What's good, family?
What's going on?
Big shout out IMC.
Yeah.
Hey.
He just chimed in. Said he's trying to get in the lab. You know why he's trying to get in the lab? It's because I have produced an EP with IMC.
Let's go.
And we got to get Danian. Danian's been out of town. We got to get him on there.
Yeah.
Seamlessly. So Danian, if you're hearing this, and Nikita, if you're hearing this, you know what I'm saying? I just tagged you in the comments, Nikita. Feel free to hit up my G Danian and get him locked in. He has my number. Okay, all right. Yo, Danian, hit up Nikita. You know what I'm saying? And let's get locked in. Let's make it happen, man.
Awesome.
That's gonna be
Yo,
crazy.
I got EPs on the low with.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, this is crazy.
Facts.
I got several EPs and albums with a lot of talent in the area.
Facts.
Just ready to rock. You know what I'm saying? Zoreen, what up, family? It's good to see you in the chat, in the building. You know what I'm saying? You gotta come by the lab, fam. I feel like however you will be dressed on that day will fit the lab. You know what I'm saying?
Says a lot about who you are.
Yeah, that's a real one. You know what I'm saying? That's a real one. She be extremely her all the time.
That's lit. I love that.
So, big shout out to Zoreen, man. You got to come through. You know what I'm saying? For sure, Daniel, we got you locked in.
For sure.
One more time, we live on Facebook, we live on YouTube, and we live on Twitch. If for some reason a platform is giving you issues, feel free to switch to another platform. YouTube is typically the most reliable one.
Yes.
Be wherever you feel most comfortable, right? Zoreen, come through, fam. You know what I mean? Whenever you around, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you be all over the country. You know what I mean? So, let me know if you're in the city, come through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but speaking on just being authentic, man, got me thinking about what we're talking about, the rollout strategies. So the
I
two
see you, bro. I see you.
the two main topics that I've been seeing that people talk about lately, right? One is Cardi B. She's dropping a new project. I don't remember the date, but what people are saying the issue is she's adding two songs that have been out like over 2 years already, killing it in the charts and everything like that. And some people feel like that's cheating, and that shouldn't be allowed to be part of her album. But then some are saying like, it's part of the strategy. So I'm just, what's y'all thoughts? Should there be a time limit for when a single is a single before it converts to an album to be in part of your album, or like is there a cutoff time?
I used to always think that like some singles came from album projects, like,
Facts.
yeah, like it's been no.
I was reading Bounce God.
But no, it's I've always seen singles that people have put out that have been part of their project. So I never thought that would be a problem.
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem until like now these songs. I think WAP came out, if I'm not mistaken, like 20 or 21 or something like that.
What does that stand for?
Wet ass pussy.
I was asking him.
Oh, sorry.
I already knew where it was going. I wasn't even finna. Yes, I believe they came out like 20 or 21. And so what people are saying, like, the issue is that it's already gained like nominations for things. It's already successful in its own right. So, but in adding that to the project now automatically like boosts the album itself to being platinum and basically having those same awards for this single.
I would think that maybe that was a part of the project in the first place. They just it just became, a bigger single, and she finally got the project together to put it out. But
Okay.
It was 2020, so it's
2020. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
So hold on. I'm gonna push back on that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because like I've watched enough interviews with Cardi B to know she doesn't naturally think album ever.
Right. Yeah.
She just thinks songs and mixtapes.
this her team.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's her team doing that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 years
I get
is
that.
wild.
But that's what I'm saying.
That is
I've
wild.
heard
That
like
is wild.
That's
though.
maybe I've heard
Especially
a year,
now.
a year and a half push. I've heard that.
Yeah.
But 5 years.
5 years is crazy.
Yeah,
That's
is.
insane.
That's
then
kinda
to,
like
like-
y'all trying to remake some kind of traction.
Yeah, I mean, it automatically, and not just that, it automatically puts her album in a certain space where if that song wasn't on there, it wouldn't,
wouldn't
there's
done
no
what it did.
guarantee that
Yeah.
it would make it there.
Yeah.
All right, real quick.
Yeah.
Bounce God says the clips rollout is incredible. That's
I
facts.
love that. Facts,
Yes.
facts,
That's
facts.
facts.
Yes.
That's what I was saying facts for. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Excuse me. Damn, that was
I
real.
agree. I am.
Bounce God also said, plus the cascading release using singles is the new cheat code to make your album platinum because those numbers still go toward it if the single matches the same ISRC as the song on the album.
Yep.
My man really went to Full Sail, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Facts.
he really know these just
Yeah.
But this is all facts.
It
you know what I'm
is.
saying?
And that's why
this
I'm
is all facts. And all of that is love. I don't think like even that as a dynamic long before streaming and digital was real.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to say, like,
5 years.
imagine if Michael Jackson dropped the song Thriller 5 years before the album Thriller.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that
saying?
would be wild.
Or let's look at even in modern times, right? Let's say, well, you know what though? I'm gonna say this. The only other time I've ever seen something like this happen in my just experience of being a fan of music, it was watching 3-6 drop Tear the Club Up. Tear the Club Up was out on tapes
Right.
maybe 8 years before that jump was,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like almost a decade, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I guess my question is, was it still being recognized? Like,
but that's the thing is they were still on the come up.
Right,
It's
exactly.
one thing
right.
to drop a song that the whole globe heard,
Yeah.
and then 5 years you put it on it.
Right.
That's different.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
again,
That's different.
she's already
Got
received
accolades and all kind
notification
of
for
stuff
this
on it.
one
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
That's different.
It's like, what's the motive here?
To me, that just feels like another way to say it was like, you know what that reminds me of? Again, that reminds me when Jay was like, yo, my album is already platinum before I dropped it, just because he got it on your phone
Bro.
with the U2 album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That feels like an easy way
Yeah.
into like
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, something. I don't know, man. I also think hip hop is particularly competitive when it comes to who went platinum and who didn't.
Yeah, true.
And so this
true.
cheapens that trophy.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Facts.
I get that.
On some sports analogy, it reminds folks gonna hate it, but it reminds me of LeBron getting the ring, and the bubble ring. It's kind of, it's like it doesn't have the same meaning that like for sports lovers or for just music lovers or artists in general, that like you said, put in the work and they are competitive in this nature. Now if you could just do this, it's like, all right, cool, I ain't gotta drop an album yet. I just drop crazy singles for the next couple of years and say that's the album, and I'm all guaranteed already, these plaques. And I don't know, 5 years is crazy. So but I guess what is the timeline though? Like,
bro, I think
It depends.
I mean, legally there is no timeline.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah,
think like for the sake of like, hey, bruh, I don't know. Like whatever that threshold is, I'd give it, man, 18 months.
I was just going to say 2 years max.
Yeah.
2 year top.
Yeah, I don't know. If something drop in 23 and then the album drop in 25, I think that's the point where I'm like, nah, bro.
you tripping.
Yeah.
Especially in today's time.
Yeah.
It's different now.
Yeah.
Like 5 years is the new 10 years.
Yeah.
No, facts.
And I
Like
think-
people are sampling 5 years back now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I definitely think if you got the platform, like, bro, there's no need to like, it's great on some business, like you said, the rollout.
Yeah.
I get that, but like, if you already got the platform, you don't have to necessarily play that game. At least 5 years that's wild to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I say like a year and a half. I can.
And I could see if Cardi B wasn't like already a tower of her own. You know what I'm saying? Like she's already like certified. Like why?
Her and Megan, the
Yeah,
song is certified.
Yeah,
Like-
that song went for a good damn near 2 years, and y'all bringing it back. You know what I'm saying? Like 3 years later to put it on an album.
You know what that feels like? That feels like her team was not confident in what
the
the
rest-
numbers.
the rest of the
Right?
project.
And that's it. This is how hip hop artists get shamed in 2025.
That's
So and so
interesting.
album only did, you know
Right,
what I'm saying,
that's real.
10,000
That's
or whatever, you know what I'm
real.
saying?
Wow, yeah.
But they just skipped right
Get
past
some
that.
boys out,
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It feels like they were afraid of what the real numbers would be.
Damn,
So they just
that's
cheat coded
interesting.
into some respectable numbers.
I didn't even.
That's trash if they did do some shit like that. Like
Yeah.
that's a
Damn,
trash.
but no, but that's a real business move. Like if this is the loophole. If it's legal, it ain't hurt nobody. It's not what it's adding to her value.
But is it really though?
Yeah, overall, from a business standpoint, because even if you don't know, let's just say you're not necessarily in Cardi's world, but you do know people fuck with her on some like brand partnerships, and she can bring to the table, well, my album, first week, first day did this. Like you can add that to that, and if you're not in that world, you don't know the behind the scenes of this. You just looking at these numbers and you're impressed and you're ready to sign the check because you like she has the impact. So yeah, that's tough though.
I think what's most important, it's just like the NBA, man. It's like, man, he barely, in game 3, he did X, Y, and Z. But yeah, like 5-10 years from now,
Exactly.
nobody cares what happened in game 3. It's just who won the championship.
Yep.
Literally.
I feel like that's
Who's
what's
got
going
the
to happen
ring?
here.
Yeah.
You know, 5-10 years from now, not even 5-10 years, just 5 years from now, they're going to look back and be like, Cardi B's albums consistently go platinum and blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think
And that'll be it.
the only people who will really care are the competitors,
Yeah.
the people who really listen to music and actually study this. But like the average consumer, they wouldn't care.
That's just like bringing up. That's just like bringing "Fuck Nigga Free" on an album in today's time on Glorilla stuff.
I mean,
Like-
technically,
I mean, but when did FNF come out?
I think she already put that album out though. That was part of an album,
It was.
if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it was just a single.
But I mean, like you said, typically your singles are songs that's going to be on the album. This one, I don't feel
Not
like.
all the time.
I mean, normally that's
In most cases.
that's what I'm saying.
but
When
yeah.
you get ready to drop a project, like you're releasing, it's the waterfall system. You're releasing songs from the album to make your album look a certain way, make your numbers look a certain way. But 5 years, I think that's kind of disrespectful, man.
Yeah.
Like that's a different. But like you said, it's legal, so it's still part of the playing field. Mm-hmm. But 5 years. Like next, somebody gonna be 10 years and be like, bro.
Yeah. 10 years would be wild, bro.
I mean, it's a great rollout, man. It's a great rollout.
Is that like 10 years?
Hey, if you can keep a fan base for 10 years to still actually care about the fact that you're doing this, I think that says a lot. Because think about it, if this was a lesser artist, no one would really care.
Right.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh, yeah,
I
speaking
get
of 10
that.
years.
Hey, shout out
Yo,
to
if
10.
you could keep a fan base for 10 years
Yeah.
Yeah.
and maintain that, well, yo, that's
Yeah.
That ain't an easy
that
thing
would
to
be
do.
Unapologetic did it though. You know? I just wanted to point that out to the people. We did it.
What was you drinking?
Yo, what?
Tell me what was in them drinks.
I'm done. It was just straight patron. But no, on some real shit though. Like, shout out to 10 years. Shout out to them. But yes.
But one more time, Bounce God said that is a fact, man. And he's really just talking about everything I've ever said. You know what I'm saying?
Done.
Shout out Bounce God, no doubt.
Yes.
Shout out to all my people chiming in. We got a few viewers on Twitch. Facebook, hit us up, man. Man, rollout strategies. Well, let's talk about what is a good rollout strategy right now.
I think it's so many.
Hey, man, if you an artist out there, what's the rollout strategy right now, family? What you trying to do? And yo, on some real shit, tell me how you would, if you could, how you would roll out your project.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you could, right? Like what is the rollout strategy in 2025?
Yeah.
I want to know.
I feel like, speaking from being an artist, like storytelling is rollout is the whole move now. Like, and gradually leading up to, what I'm saying, like what the project is about. At least from what I've seen and the artists that I've been following, like the way that they've been preparing their rollouts, like Rhapsody or Erykah Badu and Alchemist, with how they've been doing their rollout with their project. They've really been like just giving us a story behind what they're doing, why they're doing it, and how it all came about. And I feel like that's really important for people to see, so they can really get a gist of who you are and why you're doing the music that you're doing, and the kind of experience that they're expected to feel when they get to that project. That's
interesting. I think that to a degree as well as from an artist's perspective, but I feel like that in that approach, especially now, it seems like that inspires other creatives, whether they're journalists or whatever. Like, it inspires them. But I feel like for the average consumer, it just finds ways to keep people's attention. It makes me think about like what we're talking about with Jim Jones, and the run that he's on right now. I don't even know if he has an album coming out or anything, but like he's being a topic. This man is on like a podcast tour to talk about pretty much one topic of him basically saying he's better than Nas or whatever. And however you may feel about it, but I think that's but that's what I'm saying. Is it really? Because think about it, if he is promoting something or about to drop something, he's grabbing your attention and keeping your attention to figure out whatever he's doing. Like, that's a bold, wild statement. So, yeah, it could be very delusional, but it also could be smart marketing, a great rollout plan depending on your brand. Because, like...
Yeah. Hold on real quick, man. Interrupting. You know what I'm saying? We asked what's a great rollout. This man, Jason Harris, says on a dolly.
I'm done.
This is why we gotta throw bro out, man. We gotta pack him
Boo!
up.
Get your ass off the stage, man.
On the dolly, man. Yo, here, man. This why I'm gonna hesitate to respond the next time you text me, bro. For these comments. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, what? That's...
All right, we
respect
gonna
it, though.
move on.
I
My
respect
G Mac, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out to the whole IMC crew. My G Mac says, not saying I would, but I think it'll be cool to see a world premiere at a movie theater during the preview. Okay. Man, that's actually
That's
not a
fire.
good, I mean, that's not a bad idea. Like,
At all.
that's not a bad idea. Just advertising albums, like, during the
Yeah,
previews at a movie.
I mean,
When
That's
has
crazy.
that ever been
Well,
done?
I
Has
feel
that
like-
ever been done?
I ain't never seen that.
Yeah,
not
me
at the
neither.
not at the movies now.
Yeah,
I feel
ain't
like
never seen it.
the only thing that came close to me, what I'm thinking is when Kanye did the
That-
projection of his like videos and stuff.
Through the wire.
And it wasn't through the wire, but I forgot what album it was. But he did it in like multiple spots throughout the world type thing. Like it was a projection of a certain video at a certain time or whatever. And that
Who?
was crazy.
I want to ask you guys. Who do you guys feel has had some of the best rollouts
I mean,
in hip hop?
Okay. All right, go ahead, LJ. Go ahead.
I'm
Besides
trying to.
Juan's.
Nah, I'm trying to think. I mean, outside of Mad, like legit, like
Facts.
bro,
No, literally.
bro, rollout's
facts.
been crazy.
Like for real.
The current one that I like right now, well, I will say I am a fan of Tyler the Creator's rollouts. I'm a fan of the Clips rollout right now. I think Doechii, her rollout was cool.
Yeah, hers. Is
So those are a few, but when it comes to like you said, just getting the attention and stuff, Mad rollout has been epic. I ain't gonna lie, like to the point where niggas legit trying to figure like, bro, what is who do he know? What he's like?
What about you, Matt?
I give you that.
Man, you know, the biggest, I didn't know what a rollout even was. Man, we gonna take it back, man. We gonna take it back. Wu-Tang Forever, the second Wu-Tang album, A Bomb Atomically, Socrates, Philosophies, and Hypotheses. Yo, when they dropped that video with Spectre Deck climbing the side of the building and Quincy Jones in the video, and do y'all know that was the most expensive music video in the history of rap at that time?
Word?
No, I mean not even rap, in the history of music.
Really?
Yeah, that was the most expensive music video in the history of music at that time.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Like all the buzz, pun intended,
Yeah.
for when the Killer Bees were
Right.
coming back
Yeah.
was crazy. That's number one.
Wow.
Number two, bro, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah, come on.
Man,
Come on. I
50
promise.
Cent?
50 was on
I
a run.
promise.
50 Cent's hype
50 was on a run.
before dropping the album was
Yo.
50 was on a
crazy.
run.
Yo.
Was crazy.
He even went so far as to creating a whole movie about it.
50 was on a
50's
run.
rollout?
For sure.
Yo.
Unstoppable, fam.
Yo.
Fast,
Shout out
too.
to 50
Yeah,
Fat.
he had the whole planet on smash. Yo.
Bro.
Like
Crazy.
literally. Man, he
that's
still
real.
get play in my playlist.
I forgot about that.
50 Get Rich or Die Trying was crazy.
Yo.
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and roll
Eminem,
with-
did he have a good rollout with the I feel like he had some pretty dope rollouts. Like when in my closet and all that stuff was coming out.
Nah, I think it was more so his first when he first entered the game.
Hi.
Yeah, the stands on with the hair that
Yeah. But even then, though, I don't even know if that was
part of it. That was just a
Like,
video.
Yeah, that was kind of like his album is out. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
true,
okay,
true,
okay,
true.
okay. I get that.
yeah.
What Bounce God said.
I was about to say, yeah, I'm really rocking with this Clips rollout.
Yeah.
I think that has been, skillfully using, social touch points
Yeah.
to stay a part of the conversation. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, honestly, man, to kind of go back, like, what was the name of that album 50 was dropping? But that whole 50 Kanye.
I was just gonna say that. I was just
Nigga.
about to say
50
that. bro.
Kanye, like, backpack, I need to
Yeah.
go to a therapist versus I have
Yeah.
11,000
Yes.
guns. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
like that.
Shout
That
out
was
to
the fire
50, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was.
I feel like Fifth's contributions to the music world will be overlooked.
I
Very much
agree.
so
Like,
because
I
he's
agree.
a troll.
Yeah.
That's the only reason
He's
why.
the greatest
He's-
troll.
and that's
I
the
love
thing.
it. I love it.
And that's the thing, like, bro can lean on any side, and you're gonna be like, that's part of his brand, like
Yep.
because
literally, it works for him.
it does.
Real quick, Bounce God says, I would have 60 pieces of content. This man with the full. I would have 60 pieces of content for the release. 30 before and 30 after. Behind the scenes videos to show the authenticity and build the story, and reach out to influencers and streamers and audio visualizers. Official videos, use sonic bids to book your own shows.
Look,
I Bounce God,
he
man.
dropping gems.
I super appreciate that, that as like, what to do. I wish he was here, bro, because I would kind of push back on this a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that is literally the textbook rollout.
Yeah.
So by having a rollout, sure, you immediately escape the 16 trillion.
Yeah.
But by doing the textbook rollout, now you're right in line.
Right in line. Yeah.
With the 50 million.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So I would find ways to do unusual things.
Yes.
I would find ways to make the rollout. First of all, rollout to me now is an 18-month thing. Right? It's 6 months before and 12 months after. Right? Man, and let me say this too. I think that's for an artist on the come up. Already established artists with already established fan bases. No, you're thinking about shorter periods of time. In pre and post, right? But when artists who are coming up be trying to map themselves
with that
with people who are already out and been out and already have established fan bases, right? A great example of this is Lola Young. Right?
Lola's so dope.
Lola is incredibly dope, right? Lola's rollout, press run, right, has been like people are talking about Lola Young now. Lola Young been on Jimmy Kimmel, Fallon level platforms for like 5 years.
She been out for a minute.
You know what I'm saying?
She finally.
But all of this has been
Part of the
the
rollout.
momentum moment to get to the point where now you and SZA can have a conversation on Instagram and everybody knows each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. That's right.
And I also think this too, like, a big, like, for example, like now Lola is set up to drop an album,
Yeah.
right? A part of rollouts are EPs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smaller projects
Yeah.
that don't carry the weight or expectation
Of an
of an album,
Yeah.
right? I think that I do think, yes, you want to have content, but what I think is significantly, instead of more important than, or another way to frame having content is, I'll never, today, man, I use every opportunity to learn something. Today I had to go get a tire fixed this morning. I pull up, the car next to mine getting their tire fixed. Young dude is there chilling, waiting on his tire to get fixed. I just pull out, I roll up, I said, yo, bro, where you from, man? He said, I'm from Memphis. I said, bet. I said, yo, what you listening to, man? He told me some R&B that he listened to. And then he was like, yo, when it comes to rap, all I listen to is like Key Glock, Dolph, a few other Memphis rappers, you know what I'm saying? I said, yo, man, Memphis is so interesting because it's like any other city I go to, you say, yo, who you listening to? They are gonna mention people from other places.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Memphis, we mentioning Memphis rappers most of the time. Not all the time.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're listening to rap, most of the people I've encountered here, you ask them what they listening to, their first answers will be Memphis rappers. Right? So I asked him, I said, yo, what why Dolph? You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, man, I've been listening to Dolph since I was like 15, 16 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I've always been inspired by him. I said, yo, tell me how Dolph inspired by you. He said, yo, man, he was like, honestly, bro, it really started with his interviews. Right? He said that everything about Dolph's interviews and everything about Dolph's ability to tell the story about his life through interviews and show how dedicated he was, how motivated he was, how much he was about this business, how structured and disciplined he was. He was like, once he saw that in interviews, he listened to his music differently.
That's
and his music became the soundtrack to getting his life together.
That's interesting.
To making things happen in his own life. Right?
I fuck with that.
I'll also tell y'all another secret. You know what I'm saying? Yo, when it comes to content, this is the ultimate cheat code when it comes to content, fam. This is the ultimate cheat code. You know, because I be seeing artists be struggling. Yo, how do I come up with so much content? How do I create this? Blah blah blah. Yo, I'm gonna tell you like this, fam. The ultimate cheat code is this. Like, once you do something that makes other people talk about you, other people make your content for you.
Literally. Free promo. That's right. Ain't nothing like it.
People say, yo, Mad Beast, we need you to do a TED Talk. Bet. I have content for the rest of my life. Do you know how much what my TED Talk has done for me? Yeah. Artistically and musically? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I've done 7 trillion interviews. I've spoken at 7 million conferences, right? And had people videoing me, doing think pieces on things I said, things that I stand for, right? I've been in high schools. I'm at least 15 high schools a year, at least, right? Talking, giving long-form speeches, right? We do a whole bunch of performances. People pull us in to perform, and they get video of us, you know what I'm saying? Like, go out into the world and do real things. Affect people. Yeah. Motivate people, right? And people will be like, man, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And there go your content. You didn't even have to do it. You just have to be a real person in real life.
That's right.
Do real things. You know what I'm saying? And people will help you tell your story. Right? The young dude with the Dolph scenario. Right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what he was saying. Somebody said, yo, we got to interview Dolph. And they did. And that became Dolph's content.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
That's right.
Be so interested, people want to ask you about you because you're so damn interesting. Make people curious. Don't wait for them to be curious.
Right.
Be so interested. The uncurious person is now curious.
That's right.
Right? Who you are on the stage, is that who you are when you check the mail?
Right.
Because I run into people at the grocery store to give me opportunities.
No, that's right.
That's real. That's real.
That's some real shit, though, for real.
Gems.
No, for real. I say that all the time, and I see it. I see how it happens in real life. Like, if the who you are in real life, if that shit don't match up with the shit that you putting out in your music, like, niggas gonna call you out for that shit.
Or they not gonna call you.
Or you're not gonna call you at all.
The people that matter is won't.
Period.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Right.
I don't think people are interested in performances anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that like in terms of like a musical performance on the stage.
Right.
People want to see what they heard of you is really you.
That's right. That's
people
right.
believe in people now.
That's right.
People are looking for people now.
That's right.
Right? That's why social media is so important. Right? It's a look into you before they get to your music.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's get some comments.
I think that's...
Get some comments. My man Daniel, he left mad comments. Damn, my bad, Daniel.
Man, be going in.
Right?
Oh, every
Daniel,
topic.
you should come through, bro, if you here, man.
Facts.
Death Row Records was good with rollouts. Doggy Style was one of the most anticipated albums ever. They started the rollout before the Chronic. I mean, hey, 187 on the Undercover Cop. You know what I'm saying? That was the real...
Yeah.
That was the rollout to Doggy Style.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it real. Big shout out to what was that album? I mean, what was that movie? Was it Deep Cover? Yeah. Big shout out to Deep Cover, man. The next comment. Deep Cover was the first single off the Chronic, you know what I'm saying? And it was the first single for the Chronic, but it wasn't even on the Chronic. And that song introduced Snoop to the world.
That's interesting.
They took the hype around Dre leaving Ruthless and transferred it to Snoop. That's facts. Daniel also said, I like Luca's rollout for his new album. That's facts.
He going crazy.
The Mirror discussions content is super dope. I also like the way he's been highlighting South Memphis culture with the interviews he did at Four Way Grill and at the barbershop. Daniel, you must be from South Memphis, bro. He also said he agreed about Dolph. For sure, man. Let's check out some comments that we had off of YouTube. Bounce God also says sync places if possible. Kid Maestro says, speaking of 50 Cent, he and Kanye had a great rollout. Yep, I mentioned that, kid. I don't know if you said that before I mentioned that, but shout out. They mobilized whole frames of thought in hip-hop and positioned their albums. Absolutely. That was brilliant. And just shout out to the two kind of people who would sign up for that, because one of them had to lose the battle. You know what I'm saying? Bounce God also says, I agree with you. I was just coming from the come up artists, but definitely to be outside the box for sure. Yeah.
Speaking on that beef, man, with Kanye, I don't even think it was a real beef. It was just both of their albums were dropping on the same day. But that's the thing in hip hop. Like, so how important do y'all think that is to hip hop?
Mac, what up?
The beef, just beef in general. Like,
It's very important to me.
can that make or break you as an artist? Like, if you have beef in hip hop, or like, does it matter the timeline of the beef? Like, what's y'all views on hip hop beef?
I feel like it depends on the artists.
So you think there's artists where beef would be harmful?
In a sense, yeah.
Name one.
Let's say a Soulja Boy beefing with fucking Jay-Z or something like that. Or
Okay, so tell me how that's harmful. Who is it more harmful to, Jay-Z or Soulja Boy?
Soulja.
Okay, tell me why.
Lyrically, I'll say it'll be harmful, but I know they're both phenomenal businessmen. I'll say that.
Hold on. So okay, let's back up a bit.
Okay.
What is the point of a successful? So when we say beefs
I'm
can
coming
be
from
successful.
a business
Yeah, okay.
standpoint.
Yeah. When we say beefs can be successful.
Okay.
You know what? No, you might have a point. When we say beefs can be successful, what is that success?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
How do you feel about that?
I mean, I think there's a few things that has to, for a beef to be successful. I feel like, first off, if you already have to be in the game for a little minute. I feel like if you just come in the game and they start you off with a beef, depending on who that beef is, that can fuck up your opportunities. That can mess up your entire career.
Look at the beef with Ja Rule and 50.
There you go. That's what I was about to say,
Yeah.
fam.
Like,
Some
he
of
shut
these
his
beefs
shit
are
down.
lethal.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
some
for
people
real.
never recover.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what I'm,
So to that point, I totally see that as like, you know what?
Right.
There is a downside
Yeah.
business wise
It
to
gets
beef.
pretty bad.
Because there are some people. I mean, we just seen that with Kendrick and Drake.
Yeah.
but that
Like,
just
hold on, wait. So we just seen that with Kendrick and Drake. So let's be clear. Drake is going to weather the storm because he is Drake.
Literally.
However, there was at least a few months
Yes.
where it was almost shameful
bro.
To listen
to be
to.
playing Drake.
Nah, for real.
You had to be a real diehard Drake. Like, I don't care, man. I'm still
Yeah.
playing that Drake, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Like, you had to say that to yourself and to
Literally.
people around you. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me that.
Especially if it's something new.
Even like I have Sirius XM radio. Drake had a station.
Dang, they cut the OVO?
What happened?
Yo.
They cut the OVO?
Just playing like the 500 top hip hop songs now.
That's
crazy.
crazy.
That
Okay.
is hilarious.
So, Saeed Adebisi, a.k.a. my G Marcus, he says cannabis, although he watches LL Cool J. So you wait a minute. So you
Wait,
think
you
that
think
beef with LL like killed Cannabis's career? You think that hurt him? I don't know about that.
What?
My man Max says, I think this Jim Jones and Nas thing. Nas dropped one song and wipe out Jimmy. Yeah, but like it doesn't even matter. This the thing. Okay,
Yeah.
this is the thing about beefs that like. Okay, let's go back to your example. When you say like Soulja Boy versus Jay-Z, right? Yo, in that beef, and specifically you were saying Soulja Boy could lose the most. I disagree.
Word?
Absolutely. First of all, there is not a human being. Hold on, right now I'm sending out. I'm sending out a signal to the entire planet. Hey, all mankind, if there is anybody out there that thinks Soulja Boy will beat Jay-Z in a battle, pull up, right? Hit my line. Find at I'll make mad beats on IG. DM me, fam. Because Soulja Boy can't lose. Yeah. No one's expecting Soulja Boy to beat Jay-Z, right? If Soulja Boy got the attention of Jay-Z to where Jay-Z directed some attention at him,
that's a win.
Soulja Boy wins.
That's a win.
Okay.
Soulja Boy wins. And I'm going to be honest, bro. Okay. That's slick how I feel about this Drake Kendrick stuff.
Really?
Look, absolutely.
Okay.
I know Drake can rap,
Yeah.
right? But Kendrick is known as like one of the greatest lyricists to ever pick up a pen, right? look, before the beef started, right? Like, do we really think most of the world would, if you said, yo, who would battle, who would win, Kendrick or Drake? Do we really think most people were like, I don't know, bro. Like, they could go bar. No! Most of planet Earth would say Kendrick Lamar.
On some rapping, yeah.
Right. Drake had nothing to lose going up against Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he even that they even traded bars that long for me is a bigger win for Drake.
It made it more. It definitely made me more respect. Like, okay, he did his part. He did his shit.
For real,
exactly.
He held his own.
We talking about a dude. Most of his album be R&B songs.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be able to go bar for bar with somebody who all his albums is the most lyrical shit ever.
He even dug so far as to digging up niggas out the grave on some AI shit to go bar for, and he wrote that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respected Drake for that shit. Like, he held his shit down. Like, for real.
So going back made me thinking about like.
Hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
Hold on, real quick. Let me get to the John. Daniel said he liked the way the 50 and Kanye John went. Yeah. He said they was all in each other's faces, but it never went past the mic. Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah.
At least to what we know, you know what I mean?
Right.
It was good. It was good for people to see that kind of aggression without the violence. Daniel also says beef with LL ruined Cannabis' career. I disagree, my G. Nope. You know who ruined Cannabis' career?
Cannabis.
Nope. Why Clef?
Oh, they did have.
Why Clef, bro?
I didn't even think about that.
We can dedicate a whole other episode to this. It was not. No, it wasn't.
No
matter if he won or didn't win, if that album was well produced, Cannabis hits another level. Yeah. That album was not well produced. He was producing another Fugees album for one of the most murderous battle rappers of all time. Yeah, there was no killing me softly with Cannabis.
Yeah.
Why Clef ruined his career?
Yeah, that's it. That's interesting too.
Damn.
Like, in a sense, I feel like this could tie back into Rollout, but in a sense, if you're in the battle, and I think that plays a part, like who you're on, the songs that you drop next, who you're on songs with. I feel like, especially now, because everything is social media, everything is so instant. Like, people pay attention to that. I know for me, at least, when Drake dropped like some. I think it was like a Caribbean song or some shit. He was singing. So I'm like, bro, you in the middle of a beat. Nobody want to. I know I didn't. I don't want to hear this. But
hold on.
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if he's not Drake, I think that hurts him. But because he's Drake and he's Drake and people know like he can do all this shit, like it wasn't that big of a deal. But if you're someone that's known for just this lane and you get into a battle, then now you over here doing some other shit. I don't know. I think that can hurt you.
And so Bounce Guy says, now you can't go make a lawsuit if you losing. Coming from a battle rap fan. Yo, you should come on the show, my G. I will gladly slice you in half in this debate. You know what I'm saying? I will gladly pull out the sword and slice you in half, and I'll just use simple nuance. If you really think, Bounce Guy, you family, my G, so you know what? Maybe I just don't slice you in half. I just show the blade, you know what I'm saying? But yo, if you really think that lawsuit was simply about him losing,
it was not.
It wasn't.
And I could understand. Because I remember when Drake said, I just got me the Mercedes Pullman. He said, you niggas never heard of it. You got to hit up Google. You know what I'm saying? Hey, dog, it's levels to this stuff. And when you not at that level, it looks like, oh, wow, he just mad because of the battle. But when you have a connection with your distributor and UMG at that level and you recognize the cost of sale and pushing the song was different, no, my man, then it looks like strategy was used to take you down and that landed you with a different earning than what you would normally would have had. That's called protecting your business.
That's right.
That has nothing to do with battle rap.
That's right.
That's what from
and as a businessman, absolutely.
Yes.
You go and check that.
Get that. I know that's right.
But yeah, on some
the blade, I put it back.
On some just a fan, a consumer, like you said, battle rap, whatever. Then you will look at that because you operate from different, standards. Yeah. Your approach is different, but like you said, he's on a different level. He's a businessman. He's an empire, so he has to protect that and make sure, like, hey, y'all ain't finna fuck me over. I see what y'all doing, so
that's why I understood why he was gonna sue after the Super Bowl performance. Like, bro, like I get it, like that's like, bro, you fucking with my bag now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
real quick. Marcus said, I only like Drake when he's rapping. Same. I don't know no Drake, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, yeah. I don't know no Drake song like that.
How you
Not
do it again,
one.
bro? How you
know
do
what I'm
it?
saying? I don't know. If Drake ain't rapping, I do not know the song at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you. Jason the hater says Dre Day is the bumpingest diss song ever. I'm gonna be real with you, Jason.
Hey, bro.
I'm gonna be real with you, bro. Just to stay in that lane of thought, I thought Real Compton City G's was better. Real Compton City G's. Easy E. I mean, hey, and I'm a much bigger Dre Snoop fan. But Real Compton City G's was hard, fam. Hey, to me, they got him on that, Judge. You know what I mean? But then Dre had to drop a whole album.
Literally. A whole one.
So I think I'm going to give it to Dre overall.
Right. Like,
But Real Compton City G's was hard, man.
Yeah, but it just make me think about, because again, Drake dropped something recently. Apparently, he's supposed to be shooting shots.
Yeah.
And I was initially like on some, man, should there be a timeline to beef? But y'all bringing up 50 and Ja Rule, I feel like today, if Ja Rule had a show, 50 would make sure it was terrible for him. Like,
No, Ja Rule has no ruling anymore. Like,
but that's what I'm
he
saying.
just
I feel
dropped.
like that's what I'm saying. I feel like 50 Cent still today, even though 50's not even really into the music world that much, I feel like he would
Oh, he's
still
very
do
much
whatever he can
Yeah.
to make sure Ja Rule doesn't have a successful show.
I don't know. I think he done. I think he done
crazy.
burned his ass so bad to the point where like Ja won't even have it because of Ja. Like he's not relevant anymore. Like the only thing that I would
crazy.
for real and unfortunately with Irv being gone too, may he rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Like he really don't have a chance. Ashanti ain't really fucking with him like that. You know what I'm saying? Like what can he do?
Yeah, what you mean?
Nah, I'm gonna tell you, all Ja Rule need to do is, I mean, he might have already done this. This is how little I pay attention to him. He just needs to be on some reality TV vibes, man. Like,
Yeah.
Maybe
That's
so.
where he at now.
Maybe
you know what I'm
so.
saying? Yeah.
Get on his Flavor Flav.
That's
Shit,
it.
nah,
That's it.
50 go buy the rights to that
bro.
shit
and
kill
It
it.
need to be on some
Facts.
stuff like, I need a tall woman for a little man. If you had a show like
The love
that,
of
you
Ja
go
Rule.
platinum,
But
fam.
that's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying. I feel like 50 is so much of a troll where 50 would be on some like, you know what? Let me get the rights to this show. Let me make sure you can't even show this. Like,
Bro,
that's 50.
Yo.
50 has that type of
50 is-
energy.
50 is
Yeah.
different, bro. 50 is different,
I
man.
swear.
So that, I feel like that's
All right, hold
you
on,
got no
hold on,
timeline.
hold on. We got to chime in. Somebody who was supposed to run my fade and just didn't show up as a
Oh
comment.
shit.
The timing of Nubia Yassin says the timing of the suit just looks bad, especially when he does other things that make him look like a crybaby. And I say that as a fan still. Nokia is a bop. She had to confirm that by mentioning the song. No doubt. You know what I'm saying? Look, man. To me, the time it might. I don't see how the timing looks bad when he's literally going after it
While it's
after it
happening.
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
on some,
Like,
this
it's
my
not like-
business.
It's not like he waited 10 years and now I'm gonna bring this up. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
It was right now.
Nah, it's like
Yeah.
this is happening currently.
Yeah.
So to me, I don't understand
Like I
that. You know what I'm
said,
saying?
I
But
get
I
it.
was expecting you to pull up and run my fade. You know what I'm saying? Since last time you was talking all that stuff, even though I was spitting nothing but facts and I was just trying to support you. You know what I mean? I don't even understand. We supposed to be doing this album and you coming from me live on. Anyway, fam, you know, Nubia, it's all love. You know what I mean?
Look,
No
see
doubt.
this part of the rollout starting to beef, man.
Exactly. Nubia, I'm about to be hard after this. Oh, sorry. Yo, Nubia, nah, man. Yo, what's up, dog? I thought we was cool. Nah, man, we gotta have this discussion, man. We should go live together on a collaborated post and just, you know what I mean, figure it out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna collaborate with my lawyer.
Bro.
I'm
and-
done.
on some Suno.
On some
Timberland
Suno
vibes.
Yo. Speaking of Suno though, what's up with the AI ethics? Like, what are we really doing? You know? Like
Man, you know she caught it before. Yeah, I respect it. I respect it.
Like, what's really going on with that? You
Yeah,
know?
so
Nah, hold on real quick. Hey, Jason, I mean, I know what you're talking about, bro. Bumping. Real Compton City G's.
yeah.
Absolutely, bro. I know what you saying, bro. Come see me, bro. You know what I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I think that's personal. I don't know, bro. Ja Rule, live show too cold. Can't deny the live performance. Could you see him, bro?
Bro, that's
you know what
the
I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it at that. Marcus says, just check Google. Ja is booked. I mean, booked where?
Booked
you know
where?
what I'm saying?
And that's-
Pakistan?
that's-
Like-
Yemen?
Pakistan?
Like, he not doing no shows in the U.S.
In the
fam.
US at
not
all.
Not without getting like checked at the same time, IG.
Not about 50. Yeah, 50 ain't going, bro.
Like,
Absolutely, man. And checking Google.
he performing
nah,
from
bro.
Akbar now.
Even if what you're saying is correct, for the sake of this show, it's not. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep it moving.
Yeah, so in the AI world, man, there's some commotion with the Alchemist. Apparently, the Alchemist and Erykah Badu, they're doing a project together. But they have used apparently AI for their visual and the cover art. And folks are feeling the way to the point where like people are on some like, yo, I'm scratching you off my top 5 producer list, and like folks are really
damn, is that deep?
I mean,
I get what you but people are really feeling the way. Like people really on some like, oh, this is trash. You're a trash producer, and I thought highly of you, and this and that. And initially, and I will say initially when I first seen this, I was like, this shouldn't be a big thing. He's not doing it for his like career or whatever. But then I thought about like he could have got a graphic designer. He could have got like to represent the art itself. He still could have used a real person, and I feel like that's where a lot of the pushback is coming from their community. Like, bro, you still could have hit up somebody either to make something better or do this simple idea versus using AI or whatever. So it's more so like now we're trying to figure out what's the ethics, what's the threshold of this?
Like, are people upset more so because they chose this project to do an AI cover with, opposed to any other project? Because, like, I mean, I know artists use fan art all the time. You know what I'm saying, to create. So it's like just this one time they decide to test out AI.
But I think what you said though, like they use fan art. That fan is still a human. It's still
Yeah, I get that, but I'm saying like, just because they chose this one time to try AI to see how it would, because obviously it's getting talked about, getting their project talked about or whatnot. Yeah. Like, are people upset that they used AI for the cover, or are they upset that it wasn't one of their projects?
Yeah, it's just that they use AI in general to basically put out their works when they basically substituted, AI, instead of using a human. And these things like this, like I enjoy AI in the sense of just, I love technology. So to see where technology is going and stuff, I get like there's always going to be a battle because it's new. It's something that it's new to the public, and we're all trying to figure out what's going to be the thing. Where's the line? And sometimes some of the greats be the people that take those chances, and folks might not agree with it. But I feel like these things are necessary for us to figure out what's the line. Because if no one does it, then we'll still be in the dark, being like, well, we can just do it for whatever. But eventually, this is going to happen.
Okay. I feel. I understand all of that. I do think, though. I do think that there is a higher responsibility to do things ethically for those who can afford to, and those who are the ones that set examples, right, for the influencers. And so I mean, like, you're talking about Alchemist and Erykah Badu, two people who are extremely cult followed, right, who have like the buy-in from their fan base. Like, these are people like Erykah's fan base. They don't just like her music.
Yeah,
like,
they devoted.
They pattern their whole lives off of her.
Facts.
Worship it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even about the music. It's about her.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. Like, we have
spirituality.
It's a whole bunch of window seat women because of.
That's real.
Erykah Badu. It's a whole bunch of people.
That's what they call it.
Right. The dude's name is Josh, but you call him Tyrone now. You know what I'm saying?
Literally. It's a lot of Tyrones out there.
That's crazy, man.
Meaning, like, they're incredibly influential. Right?
Yeah.
And so every one of their public decisions will send people in a direction.
Of course. Yep.
Right? And so I do think that it is important for those people. Those people know that they have, especially those people, they're 50-something years old. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're aware of their impact.
Yeah.
They're not 22 like, oh my God, I
exactly.
didn't know that I said this.
And
they know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so for that, it's like, look, man, like, you're an artist.
Yeah.
Right? Right. Not only should you consider this morally and ethically, undoubtedly can afford
Yeah.
to pay somebody to do this.
Yeah.
Right? And it was mere convenience.
Yep.
Right? Like that, it's hard for me to believe that they were like, yo, to get somebody to do this idea is going to be impossible. The only thing they can do this is a computer
I agree.
program.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree with that.
And so, with that being said, you know, I have to lean on the assumption that you did this because it was convenient.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, you have to accept the role you're playing and the eventual replacement
Yeah.
of not only people who have not reached your status, eventually you and people at your status.
Yeah.
Right? When you're not thinking this way, you are helping that happen. Right? Way more than I would help that happen.
get that.
Because I'm not Erica Badu.
Yeah.
And I'm not
I feel that.
Alchemist.
Yeah.
Get that.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
and
real.
so as a leader and as somebody in a position of influence, I was disappointed to see them not realize the calling in that moment.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel that.
I'm not taking out the top nothing though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, folks
You
are
know
really
what I'm
upset. Like some of the comments and stuff, I'm like, bro, this is crazy. But I think what really was wild to me is the fact that, like, and it makes sense. Alchemist is on some, like, he's his own businessman. He's, you know, he gives off that feeling to me. But it's like, maybe you need to get you a team. Because, like, some of the responses to, like, people's tweets and stuff, I'm like, you probably shouldn't have said that. You probably, just chill, bro. Like, because a lot of it came off, especially if people are, I mean, they're not just, people are very sensitive to this thing now. Like, this is the thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff, that, like, some of his replies on Twitter or whatever, just, it felt more like trolling on some, like, you know, like, he made, and I feel like he's
get over it
genuine,
type shit.
and not just that. Some of them, yeah, but I feel like, but it was one that stood out. He was like, "Well, you know, I make music with my eyes closed or stuff like that." It's kind of like you don't really care about the other things for your rollout and everything. Like, that's cool, but it also feels like you're trying to dismiss the responsibility needed to, like, this is your career, this is your thing, this is your music, this is your art. Like, you have a say-so on this, and by him saying that, it feels like he's just trying to dismiss it. And I'm like, if you're someone that's passionate about this and you truly value the Alchemist, but you are a graphic designer or whatever the case may be, you might feel a way about that. And that's what a lot of the, like, responses, that's what it looks like to me. I'm like, bro, you not hip on, like, the culture of social media and all this stuff. You might be out of touch with this, so you might need a team to represent you in this fashion.
I mean, okay, there's a few things that should be acknowledged. Number one, Alchemist smokes a lot of weed.
Exactly. That's why I think, like, hey.
That's just Alchemist. You know what I'm saying? And then secondarily, you know, I've seen many people go through this.
Yeah.
Some form of this, right? Where it's like, you know, I've seen this, whether it be about race, I've seen this, whether it be about, you know, cultural sensitivities, all of these things where, you know, your first response is a defense.
Yeah.
It's a way to kind of dismiss people as haters and to say that you guys are just mad, you guys blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually a boulder of a snowstorm begins to happen. And then people realize, like, damn, like, maybe I should have considered this differently. Right?
Yeah.
Or maybe I should have thought about this. Right? But the sad part is just at that moment, before that moment, the reckless, dumb responses have already been thrown out there, and that's only made it worse.
Yeah. That's right.
Timberland.
That's right. I was just finna say Timberland.
Exactly.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, so I say all that to say, like, I've seen that happen so many times that it's hard for me to look at that as an egregious thing and to look at it as just like, nah, this is what happens.
This is
like,
part of it.
This is a part of the mistake.
Yeah.
The first part of there's the mistake, then there's the denial of the mistake before you realize actually this was a mistake. Right? And so I just feel like that was where he was at when this happened. You know.
Yeah,
Big shout out to Nubia. Mad took the words right out my mouth. You know what I mean? I knew you would come back around, family. I knew,
I'm done.
But we still gotta have a conversation about all that because before the stuff you were saying, I don't know.
Like, what's up?
Stand on business. You know what I mean? We will talk about that though. You know what I'm saying? Bounce God also says Timbo got caught stealing somebody else's track for Suno. I ain't gonna lie, I felt the way after seeing that whole thing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We all did.
He did a cover. What was it? It was
That's another one he came out. Yeah, I was like,
Laura something. Some girl.
I heard her sing and then I heard the song.
Bro.
I was
Like, bro, what the fuck is you
been
doing?
doing this, fam.
Like, bro.
It's ugly, man. So what's the line? What are the ethics? Like, what needs to be in play? How do we make this a thing? Because I feel like AI isn't going anywhere.
I feel this whole Suno thing, I think it starts with there needs to be some sort of protocol or okay, so you know how like when you upload a song to social media, like maybe you're DJing or you just have a song in your content that's already out, right? There are algorithms designed to say, hey, this is a song that's already out.
That's right.
We have a royalty split set up
because
you're using somebody else's song.
That's right.
Right? I feel like the same has to be implemented in learning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think like in these scenarios, when AI is learning something, right? Like there needs to be the front door of that needs to be some sort of algorithm that recognizes, whether or not this is somebody else's thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now it's tricky if these things aren't already on streaming platforms, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I do feel like this is the beginning of that.
Yeah.
Right? It's just that there needs to be some sort of recognition of like, okay, wait a minute, this is a song that's already out, right? You're asking us to use this person's creation to learn something, inform something for you. This person should be, number one, notified.
Yes.
Number two, they need to opt in or opt out of this.
They should have an
and
option.
if they opt out of this, if they opt into this, there should be some sort of royalty.
That's right.
I agree.
That's right.
For AI learning based off of what they created.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's only fair.
I feel like that's the beginning of this discussion.
Yeah. So another thing I'm thinking about it, because I was thinking if I was Suno, if I had an AI, company, production company, whatever, like my thing, if you're training, if you have to train your AI off of music, people's music or whatever, why not go to like platforms that have royalty-free music or stuff of that nature? I feel like it's still similar, but it's a different approach, Because I mean, if people already are making music for you to use for free anyway, why not use that to train your system?
Because it'd be trash, man.
Literally. No, for real. That's plain and simple. It's trash as fuck.
It's hey, bro. You know what? I ain't gonna say nobody's name. All I'm gonna say is that there are organizations that pay me directly.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, man, these like sites that offer thousands or whatever, it'd be the most lame, boring
basic
stuff ever. We need some real stuff.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? And then they pay me thousands.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Way more than a subscription would be.
But that's what I'm saying. I guess I feel like that goes into the purpose, at least for me, the purpose of AI is to maybe help alter or inspire, not necessarily be the final product.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you are being trained on stuff that's trash or whatever, it should be good enough just to maybe spark an idea or add to something you're creating versus being like, all right, I made a beat in 30 seconds. Now I'm finna make $1 million off of it. I feel like that's part of why you should go that way. Because AI, it shouldn't be like I can just click a button and this is the final product and I'm a millionaire, I'm getting paid.
It just takes away from the whole creative process, man.
I mean, but let them say it, well, at least
shit ain't creative.
At least dude from Suno, he said making music takes too long and it's not fun.
Then
which was crazy.
He needs to stop making music then. He needs to stop making.
I feel like he
get out of that shit then. If it takes too long,
just a wild statement.
You know what's trash, dog? Like hooping, bro.
Like
the fuck?
Hooping is, that's why we just...
You got to really throw it in a hoop,
we just
nigga?
created machines to hoop for.
Man,
What?
bro, that's crazy.
That's
Imagine
crazy.
a league of just robots. Bro, what?
All right, Max said, my man Marcus, because there's another Mac in here. You know what I'm saying? So let me just say it that way. He said AI will be cool to supplement some stuff, but not totally. But not totally. Absolutely. I mean, I just think that all weapons, you know, there needs to be some level of ethics applied. You know, and I think it's best. You know, let me say this, man. Well, this is kind of a tangent, but like every innovation has a period of the Wild West, right? As soon as it comes out, a lot of people are jumping, you know, towards it, but regulations and laws and all that stuff ain't caught up to it yet. You know, there's a period of time where it's the Wild West and anything can happen in that. And then eventually they say, all right, man, hold on. Now we got these new laws passed. Do this, you know, we've been watching crypto go through this for the last 15 years, right? It used to be the Wild West. It was crazy out here. Now we got commercial crypto. Right?
Literally.
And there's laws and regulations, they're even taxing it, all kind of stuff, right? Okay. I think it's important to recognize that, yes, we are in that moment when it comes to AI, right? But, however, it is more important than maybe any other innovation in the history of mankind to get this right from the onset. Right? Because this is something, if we don't get this right early, it's going to be a huge problem.
It learns very,
exactly. Nothing we've ever, none of these other Wild West things could ever potentially do anything on its own, right? And mimic and do things humans do as fast as AI.
That's right.
This is a dangerous piece of fire.
Very dangerous.
Right.
Very.
And so if we don't regulate it ASAP, this piece of fire will burn down villages. You know what I'm saying? And so it's incredibly important to take the time out. And that's why, okay, if the government is moving slow, if this and that, blah, 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 we expect the people who should understand to get it. That's why people are disappointed in Timbaland. That's why people are disappointed in Alchemist and Erykah Badu. Because we were like, hold on, bro. If Congress don't get it, blah, 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 and these people in the suits don't get it, fine.
Do it?
But y'all?
Y'all know better.
To get this.
Y'all know better.
Y'all was supposed to know this.
I get that.
You know.
So do you think, being that they have reached a certain level, there's just I feel like it's obvious. There's just a lack of care there. Because they've reached where they were trying to get to already.
It's generally a lack of I don't give a fuck, like this is my career type shit. Like I don't respect it on many levels.
Yeah, I do agree. They are the ones who should get it, because you can't fault someone who's on the come up trying to figure it out, using every tool that they can get their hands on, to be like the standard of how we move with this shit.
And then they're more so, they've always been those kinds of people to promote, hey, do it yourself, do it with your people. You know what I'm saying? Create community, create this, that, and the other. And then y'all turn to fucking AI.
I don't know, man. Will they get it right? I mean,
I don't know, man. Look, man, I have so little, I'm so skeptical about people in positions of power simply even caring. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But again, man, I feel like this is not, people be like, well, before, but I'm like, bro, this is different, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. This is different.
That's why
I understand why we, man, I understand why we want to, you know, we're looking for reasons to feel okay. Right?
Yeah.
Well, back in 99 when this happened, bro, this was not AI, man. Trying to tell y'all.
And that's kind of what, like, some of the Alchemists. Yeah, that's kind of how, like, some of the Alchemists, his responses have been. It was like, you know, people felt the same way about cell phones and this, and I'm like, bro, this is not. That's why I'm like, bro, just be quiet, bro. Just hire somebody to speak for you. Like, come on, man.
It's not that fucking hard.
Like,
stop it, bro.
Yeah, folks just need to just relax. Cause I'm seeing them like, come on, don't do that, bro. Don't do that. Yeah. And you like trolling people who are really passionately like upset about this.
These are real people. You're not trolling bots. You're trolling real people.
I couldn't imagine.
Marcus says, can you imagine an artist training an AI device for him, herself, their voice, cadence, etc., then just let the machine cut all that new music for themselves. That's happening.
Yeah, no,
I don't
it
need
is.
to imagine that.
It is.
It's happening very much.
That's
It is.
actually
It's-
happening.
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
dude, I believe his name is Brandon, the guy I'm friends with on Facebook, and this man got a whole like AI artist from Memphis, all this like and he's going crazy
An
with
AI artist from
it. Yep,
Memphis.
got exactly. No, but it's
Okay.
I think
The
what
zeros and ones are straight
Bro.
out
Right.
Orange Mountain.
bro facts. And I think the what really bothers me
Yeah.
about it
They was
is
born
that
in Memphis.
yeah, like
That AI.
tried to give her like the slang. I definitely feel like he tried to like mimic her after Glorilla or something. But what bothers me is that you have people believing like to a degree like that's a real thing, that's a real person on some like, yo, where she at? What's up? Like what's work and this and that? And I'm like, bro,
Where was all this fucking energy when niggas was trying to go in on that NFT artist?
Man, what happened to NFTs? Period.
bro?
bro?
Yeah,
Like, are they?
But I don't see that. I don't see that happening with AI. I don't think AI just gonna fizzle out. Like,
y'all remember that artist that came out? They it was a big uproar about the fact that it was a non-human entity creating music and capitalizing off of it.
yeah, I think that was the issue. The fact that it was able to get on these streaming platforms that's
what
big
they doing
issue.
right now.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. That I've seen a few articles about like people suing Spotify because of stuff like that. Like
Wow.
there are AI bans and all this other stuff like that. It's happening. It's happening. But again, like I embrace these moments because if, I feel like it draws attention to the problems. And the quicker it draws attention to it, the quicker we can respond to it. But like Matt was saying, like this grows so fast. This isn't something like we can wait till 2 years down the line and be like, all right, let's do something about it. Like, nah, this is
This is different.
yeah. This is another level.
We got a few more minutes left. I wanted to throw something out here, man. I had a conversation about how I had a series of conversations on Threads about how the music industry has changed so much and it doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah.
Right. And somebody, I can't remember. Man, I slick want to pull it up just because I want to shout bro out, man.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, let me do that, man. I'm a person of influence. I gotta respect.
Gotta be
it,
right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah. But somebody, gave me a top. Like I was just talking about the industry, and he was saying something like, "Yo, what if the labels, instead of all of our stuff ending up on a few platforms, what if the labels just all created their own platforms?"
I can see that.
Right. And when he said that, it really made me think like, yo, this has happened already, right? It just wasn't with music, right? It was with TV and movies, right? So it made me remember like there was a time when, and I would say like maybe 2006, right?
Yeah.
There was a time when like every movie was on Netflix.
Yeah.
No, facts.
Right?
Facts.
Like, every
True.
movie was on
Facts.
Netflix. And if it wasn't streaming on Netflix, you could get the DVD. Like they would send you the DVD on Netflix, right? And I remember, I couldn't remember who was the first to do it. I want to say it was like HBO or like maybe Showtime. I can't remember. But I do remember there was, maybe let's just say it was HBO.
Yeah.
HBO was like, you know what, man? Nah, I think it was Showtime. It was whatever Breaking Bad was on, which I think was Showtime, right?
It was
Yeah.
Showtime.
Or
Yeah,
AMC?
I think. No,
I can't remember.
I think
It
it
probably was
Showtime.
partnered with one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of these organizations, let's just say it was Showtime, they said, yo, why do we need to run everything through Netflix? Why don't we just do what Netflix did for all of our TV shows and movies?
Yeah.
Right? And I remember when that first happened, I remember being sad, like, damn, bruh, y'all not on Netflix no more? Damn, I guess it's almost like y'all don't even exist.
I canceled my
You know what I'm saying?
subscription for that reason.
Right? But then other
Yep. Everybody started doing it.
Like
then
Tubi.
Disney. Nah, I mean Tubi was yesterday. I'm talking about almost 20 years ago. You know
Oh
what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like then Disney, right? Then then Showtime and like all of the
Everybody
little
started
small
doing
channels that had movies. You know what I'm saying? Then Cinemax, right? And then X, Y, and Z, and that's how you get to today.
Yeah.
Where there are like 30 different streaming platforms.
Bro, I hate it.
I know, but think about how much money like could all be going to Netflix, and they would become the Spotify of TV, right? But instead, at least the labels, they have a larger cut, which I would imagine in turn leaves a larger cut because essentially they're doing their own distribution, right? Which leaves a larger cut for the label. And then a larger cut for if they have a royalty,
right?
I mean, I don't know what's happening behind the scenes on those platforms, but I do know that they are getting more money to potentially distribute to the creators of this content than they would if Netflix had all the power.
Yeah.
Right? And so it makes me think like, man, is something like that in that frame of thought even possible with the music industry? Because right now, it's all Spotify. I mean, shout out to Apple Music or whatever, but like Spotify is the god.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like it's possible depending on the strength of your roster.
Yeah.
If you have the A-list artists on your label, then you can create that demand.
That's what I'm saying. Like imagine if Sony,
Like
if
Tidal.
Interscope.
Yeah.
Imagine if Interscope was like, yo, we just dropping a new streaming app. All Interscope artists.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Like,
You mean to tell me people are not gonna say, all right, you know what? Let me go ahead and get this Interscope app and pay my and then just say maybe they said the introductory. They do it like how everybody else did it. It was like $2 for the first 2 years.
Then once they know it's work,
10 years later, now it's $30 or whatever.
Yep, you lock
That's just
in.
like
But I'm
Tidal.
just saying, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you just started off with like an introductory $4.99 a month, and it's all Interscope stuff, but you get access to higher quality versions of that, all kind of different versions of it, extra tracks you never heard before, interviews, X, Y, and Z. People at a certain level, people are gonna be like, you know what? Bang, you know what I'm saying? Let's do that. And I think, I know the easiest thing to point to is like, yo, Tidal, you know what I'm saying? Jay and them tried to do that, blah, blah. Yeah, but that was they were trying to compete with Spotify to be another Spotify. I'm talking about like the uniformity of like the label. Like Tidal is another distributor. I'm saying kill the distributor.
Yeah.
Okay.
You be that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like
Kill the distributor. No more distributor. We're in a direct-to-consumer market anyway.
Yeah.
it sounds like a label that I
Facts.
know. I mean, low key.
It's interesting.
I'm just saying, like
I'm just saying, shout out to us.
It's interesting.
it does, but no, I definitely can see that happening.
Daniel says, what if indie labels started making their own platforms? Like an unapologetic streaming
Let's
platform.
go.
You know?
Man, it's crazy.
Like underground AF radio.
It would be amazing if that happened, right?
You know?
It would be amazing if an independent label like Unapologetic said, yo, we're going to make our own app and have our own music in it in a way that allows us to know our fans in ways we would never know our fans on Spotify, on Apple Music, on YouTube, on any other platform, right? And then we get to convert that in ways that further build our community and us economically. Yo, it would be crazy. I'm going to tell you what would be even crazier. If we did that in 2025, crazy. But what if we did that like 8 years ago?
Man.
In 2017? Insane. Those dudes, whoever did that, crazy.
Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
What a visionary.
Niggas don't think like that.
No, that's real. That's real. Especially now, like the world.
Hey, man, get the app,
The
bro.
world is catching up, man.
Available for iOS and Android devices.
Period.
Unapologetic world. Stop saying this shit is genius and then don't go actually support that
Man,
shit.
what?
When it
Real
happens.
shit.
Sometimes
Real
Kobe
shit.
Bryant is next door, nigga. You know what
Real
I'm saying?
shit. Real shit.
Stop looking at all the way across the world and waiting on Kendrick Lamar to do it. It's
Right
a dude
here.
in your hood doing it.
Right here.
now.
Real. For
Right
real.
now. Nigga, go to the fucking app store and play with y'all niggas.
And that shit free.
It
Y'all
is free.
bullshit.
Like, and it's a great fucking app.
For real, for real. Have no excuses.
Yeah.
And with that being said,
Hey, no, it's something. Speaking of the app, there is something pretty cool going on in the app right now.
What's going on in that?
Like there's if you have the
countdown.
app, look into the app. There's a countdown going on.
nice countdown.
I think it's
Well, we about 43 days, 42, maybe 41 days away.
I don't know. Let's open the app and see.
Matter of fact, everybody go to iamunapologetic.com. If you don't have it, go get it. It's available on all Android and iOS devices. You have no excuse not to have it. You feel me? We would love to hear from you.
Hold on. Nubia says, them niggas would not give more money to artists if they did that.
Yeah.
You know what? Even if that is true, what's most important about that is that they would decentralize the power of
Yeah.
Spotify.
Yeah.
This would mean, for example, even if Interscope did that and the artists under Interscope never did that, right? What's more important is that the culture of indie labels this means
To start something.
exactly. This means Spotify is not as powerful, and this also means that it is normalized. If you want the independent music from an upstart label, which will do that,
Yep.
right? You have no problem saying, "Let me get their app."
Yep.
Versus now, when everybody has a problem leaving Spotify.
Yep.
It's just like what I said. When the first people who did that, which I want to say was HBO, I can't remember. But when the first people did that, I remember thinking like, well, I guess that shit don't exist no more. When it was only one. But when there was a culture of, hey, no, if you want Paramount, if you want NBC, if you want any of this stuff,
Yeah.
you got to go to their platform,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That decentralized things. And so now we have a different culture, which allows people to say, no, I'm not going to default just fuck with Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am willing to go to another platform
Because
to
I want
get
this.
what I
Yeah,
want.
That's
yeah,
right.
That's the
exactly.
most important part.
That's right.
Yep.
Because right now, the hardest part is just getting people off of Spotify.
Literally.
That's it.
Literally.
I built the platform. I know. It has nothing. There is a culture around, no, we go to Spotify.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's right.
You
Yeah.
change that, everything else changes.
Yeah,
That's
because
right.
if you do
That's
that, we're no longer worried about reaching the platforms.
That's
it's like,
right.
come to the app.
That's right.
you can get Awesome, you can get Pro, you can get Unique, like
That's
you
right.
can get Nubia, like come to the app.
You change the culture. You decentralize.
That's right.
That is the benefit. And then you give people who are willing
Mm-hmm.
to give the artist a better cut
Yeah.
the ability to do that because nobody is super leaning on the centralization of information.
Right.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, the artist that I was thinking like would have been on some like, man, I'm gonna do that was a Drake. I felt like if Drake, at least at a certain
Late
point, at a certain point, if Drake did that, I feel like he would have changed the landscape. But now it's like,
Yeah, OVO having their own streaming platform.
'Cause
would be
it was set up.
crazy.
Yeah, but to hear that they took that man OVO for a serious,
Damn, that's wild.
it's the power, man. Well, yeah.
Man, well, it's been a great discussion.
It really, really was.
Great discussion. You know what I mean? Got a chance to discuss some passionate thoughts and ideas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, we're going to keep it moving, though. It's been another episode of Type Beat, live from outer space, an unapologetic studio. My name is I Make Mad Beats, and my cast is...
Yeah, LJ1S.
Unique, period.
Hey, man, like I always say, stay safe or stay dangerous, do both or do neither. Y'all have a good day.
Peace.
Bitch, are you jealous?
Oh shit, here we go again.